Hello and welcome to episode number 32 in this daily series where I will be making a video a day about each state in the USA. My name is Jake, I make videos about places, and this is 5 fun facts you probably didn't know about New York. And boy, is this going to be a good one. There are so many cool things about New York that it's actually very difficult to narrow this down to 5. But I've done so for you, and I hope you enjoy. I know you will. New York, known as the Empire State, has a population of 19.45 million people and a median annual household income of $67,000. The capital city is Albany, and the most populated city, obviously, is New York City, with a population of 8.3 million people. That is a big city. All right, let's get into those 5 fun facts, starting with number 1. New York has the largest mass transit subway system in the United States. It has 722 miles of track, and it may contain gators. Speaking of New York's subway, can you believe that the entire city contains over 722 miles of subway track? That is right. The world's largest mass transit system would stretch from New York City all the way down to North Carolina if the track was laid out in strips. The longest line is the A line, which totals 31 miles and runs from 207th Street in Washington Heights to Far Rockaway in Queens. In February 1935, 3 young men were shoveling snow into an open manhole near the subway when they claimed to have a run-in with an alligator. Yikes. It sounds like a joke, but the story was credible enough to be reported by the New York Times, so who knows? Keep an eye out for any scaly friends while you're waiting on the platform. As well as alligators, people have reported seeing ghosts on the subway, and there's even a haunted platform you can go and visit if you're feeling really brave. Many of the city's subways have now been abandoned, leading to plenty of urban legends about who's really lurking in the depths of New York City. New York's most haunted station was also one of its most beautiful subway stops of all time. The City Hall station is now an unused stop at the end of the 6th line. However, rumor has it that a ghost now stalks the platform. Several workers claim to have been hearing strange noises late at night. Eventually, a Native American builder of the Lenape tribe realized that the spirit was speaking in a language and said that the ghost was an agitated spirit who hadn't received a proper burial. Officials supposedly brought in a shaman to perform a ritual which allowed the ghost to rest in peace. So you can go for a ride, go ghost hunting, and go for gators. That sounds like a pretty cool place. Who wants to go? In 2012, New York City had its first day in living memory with no violent crime reported. Which, that sounds crazy, right? Because, okay, yeah, one day without violent crime. But keep in mind, New York is huge. New York City is huge. So having a day with no crime whatsoever is quite remarkable. On a day in 2012, New York City failed to receive a single call about a murder, stabbing, shooting, or any other form of violent crime. This was the first time in the history of New York City that an entire 24-hour period passed without a reported incident of violence. With a city of over 8.3 million people, it's not surprising that so many crimes happen. That's why it's incredible when nothing does happen for a whole day. Despite its reputation, crime levels in the city have actually been falling since the 90s. Although, one of the worst murder rampages in history came in 1993, when somebody in the area from East New York to Cypress Hills was killed on average every 63 hours. So apparently it's gotten a lot better since the 90s. Good on you, New York. Keep up the good work. There is a secret train station underneath the city that's only for the president's use. It sounds like an urban legend, but this is actually 100% true. It's called Track 61, and it's a top secret railway track located underneath the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City. It was built alongside the original Grand Central Station in the late 1800s, but came to be used as a power station and storage area before being abandoned entirely. Or was it? Several US presidents have taken advantage of the station's secretive location by using Track 61 as an emergency escape route out of the city. Franklin Roosevelt used the station to transport his car in and out of the Waldorf Astoria garage. So how exactly do you get in to Track 61? Apparently there is a secret entryway located near the 49th Street location of the hotel. So if you think you're smart like Sherlock Holmes, you can go out and try to find it. The numbers 102 to 121 supposedly denote the exit which leads to the lift built by Roosevelt's advisory team. You better be careful though if you're snooping around, because legend has it that it's still in use. Most of New York City's famous parks, and there's a lot of them, used to be used as graveyards and still have bodies buried below the surface. New York has plenty of amazing green spaces, but did you know that a huge number of them used to be graveyards rather than beauty spots? There's a lot of repurposed land in the 5 boroughs, and many of the famous parks in New York City are former grave sites. Washington Park, Union Square Park, Bryant Park, and Madison Square Park are all built on the site of former cemeteries, housing unknown bodies. Burials were actually forbidden south of Canal Street, Manhattan in 1823, but in the decades before that law was passed, thousands of people were buried in the area. There are a few burial spots in New York City which have been carefully preserved over time, including Trinity Church on Wall Street and St. Paul's at Fulton and Broadway. However, many more graveyards have simply been built over, and now houses, playgrounds, pools, and luxury apartments are located on top of those old burial grounds. Even Trump Tower is located above an old cemetery. The most famous example is Washington Square, which used to be a potter's field. Most New Yorkers don't realize it, but there are over 20,000 corpses underneath the park, several of which were recently disturbed by builders digging for utility lines. Big oops. The city gave relatives of anyone buried there a year to claim the body and relocate it to a new resting place. Only about 250 out of the 10,000 plus bodies laid to rest were ever moved. So there are still a huge amount of bodies located under the surface to this day. Over 25% of the world's gold supply is located in New York City. Next time you find yourself walking around the financial district in New York City, you might be interested to know that you're only 80 feet away from the largest single gold supply ever accumulated in human history. That's right, the Federal Reserve Bank on Liberty Street currently holds a quarter of the world's gold. The vault contains over 7,000 tons of gold bars and can only be entered via a cylindrical entryway, which rotates as you turn a wheel. Although much of the gold is shrouded in secrecy, we do know a couple fun facts about what goes on in the depths of the vault. Apparently, if someone were ever to get trapped in the vault, there is enough oxygen to survive for up to 72 hours. Employees in charge of stacking and moving the gold bars have to wear special magnesium shoe covers just in case they accidentally drop one of those 27-pound bars. Most of the gold is owned by sovereign nations. Rumor has it that there are 122 mini vaults lining the walls of the bank, one for each country. It's free for a foreign government to store gold there, but the bank charges $1.75 per brick to move the gold. So what is the value of all this gold, you might be asking? Well, I'll tell you. All that gold comes in at a grand total of $250 billion. Each separate brick is valued at $640,000, and the bank considers each bar as an individual, meaning they keep special tabs on each bar to make sure that a customer receives the exact bar that they put in if they want to withdraw. Rumor has it that the largest current account is valued at $54 billion. I wonder who owns that big sum. Pass some of that over here, huh? Oh yeah, and if you're thinking about robbing that bank, it is a very bad idea. A Federal Reserve employee recently said that the attempted heist, like we saw in Die Hard 2, the movie, would never have worked in reality. It turns out it's a lot harder to rob a bank in real life than it is in the movies. So don't bother. Just leave it be. All right, those were the 5 fun facts. I hope you enjoyed, and I bet you did. But as per usual, I have a bonus fact as well. And here it is. It is illegal to walk around on Sundays with an ice cream cone in your pocket. What? Apparently in the past, it was illegal to eat ice cream on a Sunday anyway. So maybe this law was enacted to stop would-be criminals from hiding incriminating evidence from the police. Either that or some weird childhood drama suffered by a New York City legislator. That is a weird law, and that is a bonus fact for you. Hope you enjoyed. Bet you did. All right. Thank you for watching. That is it for this video. 5 fun facts you probably didn't know about New York. Now, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're from New York, leave a comment down below. Tell me which of these facts you knew, which ones you didn't. And of course, any other comments are welcome, even the rude ones. I will see you guys tomorrow, or actually, you will see me tomorrow. Come back tomorrow and see me at 7 o'clock p.m. I will be here, but for now, I am out. Later. I'm trying to film here.